Episode of Geeks of Azeroth. We're going to be rounding up all of the April Fool's jokes. There's strong evidence of a Whispers of the Old God release date, and there's some booty controversy. All that and more on this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth. By geeks.
About geeks. For geeks.
Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth!
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Tarley, and with me, as always, we've got Britzza and Big Voodoo. And this week, we have a special guest. You can't see him because his computer hates his webcam, but his name is... Oh, I didn't even think about which one of your profiles to go with, so we're just gonna go with Lumpy.
Okay. Maybe it is.
What does he want to go as?
I'm assuming Icarus, correct?
Yeah, let's go with that one.
All
That
right.
one.
We have Icarus joining us this week on the show. So let's just first talk about our couple weeks in gaming. Icarus, what have you been playing around the Blizzard universe lately? We'll start with you.
I've actually just been up to a lot of Heroes of the Storm. Way too much Heroes of the Storm.
There's never too much Heroes of the Storm.
As Britzza would say. How about you, Britzza? How's the last couple weeks treated you?
Yeah, I was going to touch on the same thing. I kind of had a bit of Heroes going on. However, probably the biggest news for me is that I apparently got into the Legion Alpha. So it turns out Blizzard doesn't hate me.
So you've also had the chance to do the Demon Hunter starting zone, as you mentioned in chat. Now that two of us, Big Voodoo and Icarus, we were all at BlizzCon, so we have already experienced. But tell us, how do you feel?
I think it's pretty amazing. I think they've got it down to a T. I don't know how different it would have been compared to what you guys had, but I just think it was perfect. The story was brilliant. I'm going to do a video. I recorded a lot of the footage, and I'm going to do a video in time. But I think, to sum it up, it was pretty much the best introduction to the Demon Hunters we could have hoped for. It brings it in nicely. It's really well paced in how it brings in those abilities. People know that you kind of learn your abilities through killing demons and things like that. But the pace of that is perfect. And probably 2 hours in, I was in Dalaran ready to begin the expansion. Leveling's really well paced. You're about level 100 by the time you finish it quite comfortably. Some people were hitting 101 somehow. I don't know if they were just grinding a lot during the missions, but yeah, I thought it's brilliant. It really is great, and I managed to touch on the heirloom quests as well, and sort of get into the first zones, as it were. And it's brilliant. It really is incredible.
Very cool.
I know I'm fanboying a bit there.
And what about you, Big Voodoo? How's your week in gaming?
So
Well,
as
2 weeks.
as usual, I have decided that I can only be good at one Blizzard game at a time. So I am now terrible at Heroes of the Storm. Lost my last 6 out of 7 games I just played. But now I'm really good at Hearthstone. I hit rank 4 last season while I was up visiting Tarley in real life, because that actually happens.
Yeah.
It exists.
Friends do that, and then they get drunk together, and just inexplicable things happen, but we will not talk about that on this show.
And the viewers will wonder.
As always. Tell us how far did you get in Hearthstone last season?
I got to rank 4, which, looking at the statistics, puts me in the top 1% of all people in the North American region.
Woo!
If only you could play that comparatively well in StarCraft.
Right?
All right, well, jumping in, unless anybody has anything to throw
What have
in.
you been up to?
Oh, I guess I've been doing things. Just not much, really. Still just Overwatch on a daily basis.
You're only a month away from that now.
I know. It's fantastic. Still loving it. We'll talk about some of the new updates that came out recently, and it was really cool having Big Voodoo up to actually play alongside me. He got to experience finally. But it's been great. I recently got back into Heroes of the Storm as well and played Lunara for the first time, and she's fantastic. I don't care if Big Voodoo was causing me to lose every game we were playing. The games were enjoyable. So, let's jump right into the first segment of the show. It's time for News of the Week. I actually have the sounders ready.
Hey, we recording? Yeah? Okay.
News of the Week. That's right, it's time for News of the Week, and we actually have a lot to talk about this time. And we're going to start it off right away with April Fools. Did anybody fall for anything, or have we all gotten used to it by now?
I think Google messed up. Google messed up big time.
Yes.
I didn't fall for any because I am just so used to it. But this was a good year for them. They had a lot of good ones.
I think the most exciting thing that I wanted to be real was the Frost Doge clan. I thought that would have just been amazing, and I wanted the title, such title, much wow, or something like that. It would have been amazing.
They went really far with that one.
Yes.
Like proper mounts and everything for it. It was really well done.
You know, not just Blizzard, but it seemed like the entire internet came out this year, much more than it usually does for April Fools. I mean, it was just everywhere. Everyone had some kind of April Fool's joke, but of course Blizzard's were just fantastic. Like their Azeroth TV, I really want Void Storage Wars to be a thing. Come on, who doesn't? What about?
Did you see Razors?
Yes, I did.
The toaster.
Razor.
You did a toaster.
Yes. Icarus, what was your favorite thing?
I actually really like that they were going to do the Hearthstone MMO. I thought that was really funny.
I know, an entire MMO based on the Hearthstone universe. I mean, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
I just imagine people running around throwing cards at each other, or like Yu-Gi-Oh.
That would be
World of
cool.
Warcraft.
I'd always want Hearthstone tournaments to be a little bit more like how they portrayed it in Yu-Gi-Oh, like, you know, epic battles, fire all over the place, and I think it'd be a lot more better as an anime.
Well, Britzza, did you experience anything that you thought was just so hilarious?
Well, my favourite one was the StarCraft 2 Balance Manager 2016, where you get to run your own StarCraft 2 team. And I just, to be honest, I'm not kidding. If that was an actual game, I'd buy it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
and
and
said,
that's the thing.
Like one of the picture previews for that said, "Warning, you're about to nerf the Stalker. There will be much rage," or something like that. Like, it'd be great.
It's kind of funny how sometimes, I mean, you guys have probably seen it, not just in Blizzard, but when they do an April Fool's and you're like, that's actually a really good idea, please do that.
Well, like, you know, when they did playable Pandar and Race, and everybody's like, yes, make this happen.
And then they didn't like it as much.
It's still kind of a joke, I mean, to be real here.
What about you? What was your favourite one?
Oh, mine was just kind of the patch notes for Legion. I just kind of woke up and was just reading those and just found them all pretty enjoyable. Because I wanted them to all be true.
You know, there was one thing that did catch me off guard, though. Blizzard had a reveal for one of the new Hearthstone cards on the 1st. And it was an amazing card, and I looked at it and I'm like, wait a second. Is this real? It was, actually, but...
Well, anything else on April Fools?
Too many good ideas.
Right.
Didn't they have like a new co-op mission or something they threw in StarCraft for April Fools?
Zergling.
Yeah, Carbot Zergling. Yes. I was just reading over these patch notes, seeing like what the funniest one of them was, and you know, it really had to be shamans, just because they just got screwed over like they do every expansion anyway. So the joking ones were great anyway. Like Spirit Link Totem should no longer incorrectly result in error 404, or Stone Skin Totem has been removed from the game, and Ghost Wolf has been renamed Bark Bark Dog Dog. So that was an example. If you didn't read the patch notes, I just wish they were all actually a thing. All right.
Paladin's got, look, we already gave you Ashbringer, isn't that enough?
Exactly.
Fair point.
All right, so moving on, there is strong evidence that Whispers of the Old Gods will be released on April 26th. That's a little bit sooner than Big Voodoo predicted. Britzza, you found out this information. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's only about a week. We were talking before the show. It's only about a week before Big Voodoo predicted it would probably be out. And where this has come from is the NGA, which is a Chinese World of Warcraft forum. One of their forum users posted some information from there on Reddit. And what that is that it's a warning on Battle.net that basically, long story short, when you look to buy Curse of Naxxramas cards, you get a warning that those cards will only be playable in wild format after April 26th, which, as Big Voodoo pointed out before the show, is pretty much a strong indicator that's when the expansion is going to be released. So again, it seems like it's almost like a half data mine, half error on Blizzard's part, but that seems to be a strong indication. And it came out on April Fool's, another thing that,
Right.
kind of everyone thought, oh, here we go. But it has been tested since, apparently, and it still gives you that warning. So it looks to be quite legit. So it seems April 26th is now probably the best bet.
I wasn't really too thrilled. I just didn't really pay too much mind to Whispers of the Old Gods until Big Voodoo came out here and was just like playing Hearthstone and then built me a Hearthstone deck, and now I am obsessed with Hearthstone. And so there may or may not have been $50 spent on a pre-purchase of a card pack.
Money well spent.
Yes. Because pre-purchasing card packs is totally logical.
You get 10
probably
extra
is.
packs for the same amount of money if you're going to buy them anyways.
Right? Exactly. There is logic.
Would you guys, are you guys ready for it on, bear in mind that's only, 3 weeks away?
No, I'm not ready for it. I need way more cards to actually be ready for it.
Just buy all the cards.
Yes, I'll just pre-purchase it 10 times. There you go. All right. Icarus, did you have anything to chime in on Hearthstone?
Not really. I'm not big into Hearthstone.
Okay.
Big Voodoo stomped me, and I was just like, he can play that game.
So, next bit of news. Pretty much as we speak, the new Overwatch short is being released. And this was a lot faster than I think a lot of people actually expected them to be releasing these new shorts. They say there are 3 more on the way after this one. But this one is called Widowmaker's... or it's not called Widowmakers. It's just called Alive. And it is about Widowmaker in King's Row. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing a visit from our British friend, our fake British friend in that show.
Is that me?
I don't.
Am I the fake British
You're the real British friend.
Oh, right, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Tracer does make probably as much an appearance in this show as I do.
Especially this episode. This is more Geeks of Tracer once we get to the discussion topic, but we'll get there. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to see Widowmaker's side, especially in these brilliant animated shorts that Blizzard are doing. I mean, Recall was fantastic. Sure, if listeners haven't had a chance to check it out, you absolutely should. But yeah, definitely excited. What do you guys think?
I'm definitely gonna pop some popcorn, butter that stuff up, and watch it.
It is only 5 minutes long.
That's enough to eat popcorn.
But if you need something else to watch popcorn to, Star Wars The Force Awakens has officially released today. I have already downloaded it, paid for it, and have downloaded it, and I'm probably going to watch that immediately after this. But, yeah, Widowmaker.
It's interesting from the description. Oh, sorry, go on, Big Ready.
He
I'm
just
excited
likes the
for
booty.
it because... No. Well, yes, but no. I'm excited for it because this is like the one character in Overwatch that I'm actually better than you as, maybe.
I don't know. I think I kind of disproved that last night. But anyway, yeah, you were very good at Widowmaker, which surprised me. You were just headshot, 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 and yeah.
What is Widowmaker's sort of main theme? What are her abilities?
She's a sniper. That is purely,
Oh, right.
She is a sniper. And she can grapple, hook all over the place, and her sniper rifle can just combust down into a assault rifle.
Okay.
Not combust, that was the wrong word. It does not catch on fire and then turn into an assault rifle, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here.
Is that going to be the video? She tries to take a shot, moves in close, and just the gun explodes.
And now it's an assault
Game over
rifle. Words are difficult.
It says tonight's, today's video is going to spend a fateful night in London's King's Row, where you'll discover how one death can change everything. So, something tells me Tracer's going to appear in that, because I'm pretty sure...
I think she's from King's Row.
I think she's definitely from London. So, and also the scene where she kind of appears, you know, like when they did that mashup of them.
Oh yeah, and she's
that's
like flipping over in King's Row.
Would be sort of London's King's Row area. So I think Tracer's going to go up against Widowmaker in this.
And the idea of that is pretty exciting. So we'll find out why they hate each other, because throughout the game they have like banter back and forth if you have them both playing on the same team. So that'll definitely be interesting to see why. All right, so we definitely have a lot to talk about today, so we're going to move right on unless anybody has something else. Okay, moving right along. Overwatch Origins Excuse me.
Straight up to Tracer.
All right, straight on to Tracer, yes. Overwatch Origins pre-orders get Tracer and Heroes of the Storm on April 19th, and it releases to everybody on April 24th. But if you haven't seen the trailer for her yet, they released it yesterday. Go check it out. It is incredible. She is going to be the only hero I play in Heroes of the Storm from then on. She looks fantastic.
We just need a team of 5 Tracers.
Right?
If only that was possible.
It would be very, very awesome.
They should allow it for heroes, just with the Overwatch characters, though.
But, you know, I was definitely concerned about how, like if they would keep her mannerisms and everything perfectly from Overwatch into Heroes of the Storm, and it just looking at the trailer, she looks so well done. It looks like her gameplay style is going to be exactly how she plays in Overwatch. I mean, do you guys get the same impression?
Definitely.
I've actually been reading like what her whole kit's about. She seems super overpowered, kind of moving and shooting.
Yeah.
Like
she's kind of like what Tychus does, but she can do it all the time.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be an interesting pick for the esports scene, because seeing how some of her key abilities are sort of teleporting, and I think they've kind of got that reverse time mechanic in there.
And I believe one of her ults, at least, is the sticky bomb.
Yeah, and I think when they show
her ult.
She only has one ult?
Oh, is it?
She only has one ult, but she gets it at level 1 instead of level 10.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then her level 10 talent just buffs it in different ways.
Okay, that could be an interesting way to develop a character.
But I mean, just literally being on the dash in, drop bomb, rewind is exactly how you play her in Overwatch. It's pretty cool.
Or just dash in, people use their ults on you, you quickly reverse time, jump out, and everyone's, you know, half the enemy teams use their ults. I think it's just a really clever tactic to lure people in. And like that, like you say, if they don't fall for it, they get a sticky bomb to the face, which is always fun.
So while we're on the topic, what other Overwatch heroes would you guys like to see make a quick appearance into Heroes of the Storm?
I actually had a really good idea earlier today about a hero that could go through like jungle walls, and they could have Reaper do that with his Reaper form.
Reaper would definitely be an interesting choice.
And they could also make his auto attacks like a cone instead of just like a single shot to a minion to give the shotgun spread. Just throwing out ideas.
His ult would presumably be very close to what Vala's is.
Yeah, there's the problem.
Yeah.
So I guess you can play around with that.
I feel like Winston. I think he would be like a very unique tank, because there's no one else quite like Winston in Heroes of the Storm.
I would agree with that.
He can leap. His his gun is very different from how anyone else's would work.
How would the shield barrier work? Would it just stop projectiles, or would it give everyone a bubble who entered the
I think it would
circle.
just be like it works in Overwatch. It would just be anybody standing within the bubble doesn't get hit by any kind of projectiles. And like there's still like some things that can penetrate it in Overwatch, so just like there could be things that could break through it in Heroes of the Storm.
I like it. I think they could really put any Overwatch hero into Heroes because they realistically all have 4 abilities, just like hero champions to begin with.
I just feel like some would be better skins, like a Widowmaker's skin for Nova, just because there's already a sniper in.
Hanzo.
Yes.
I want Hanzo.
Hanzo. Yes. The,
Just to
the
see
dragon
evolve.
ults, yeah. what about you, Britzza?
I think I don't know. I think I haven't played Kale in such a long time on League of Legends that I just want Mercy to be put in the game. And also, I think another
Lucio could
strong
be
healer
interesting
spec.
as well.
I just think all fair that just go really out there. I mean, what's the one with
Zenyatta,
the
any of those supports actually could work really well.
I think
I-
Lucio's too much like Brightwing. Sorry for interrupting.
That's all right. That's a good point.
You know, Lucio could be really cool though, especially if you could switch back and forth between healing and speed like he does in Overwatch. Like that could bring a lot of really cool interactions into like competitive play, especially.
She would play a lot. I can't think of her name from League of Legends. The chick with the big thing around her that I always played support as, Icarus.
Leona?
The one that I would just snipe people with because you can either buff attack or you buff.
Oh,
buff speed.
Sonya.
Sonya.
The one person you used incorrectly.
Yes.
But still works.
I used her as an assault character. I would just steal everyone's kills, but whatever.
Full mage Sonya.
Yep. All right, so moving on from Tracer and Overwatch, or in Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch beta has been updated yet again, and they just keep adding things without telling people they're going to add things. So within the last time we talked, they added a new map that is the standard payload gameplay. It's called Route 66. It looks very much like a Team Fortress style map, but it's gorgeous. The scenery is right alongside the Grand Canyon. You got this big open side of the map that you can knock your teammates, or not. I wish you could knock your teammates into sometimes, but knock the enemy players into, and it's great. It's kind of a short map. It has a much faster pace. There's a lot of like narrow passageways that other maps don't have. It makes for a lot of Reapers being very interesting, as I witnessed in a match earlier this morning. We had 2v2 Reapers, and we just kept running into each other along these narrow hallways, and it was equally terrifying every time. But again, they just keep continuing to rebalance the game over and over again, so we never know who's going to be good this week and who's going to be good that week. And they've added weekly brawls. So if you like Hearthstone, what is it called in Hearthstone?
Tavern Brawl.
Tavern Brawls.
Tavern Brawl.
Right. They've added that into Overwatch, basically adding different variations like Fiesta mode and Halo. But they're actually changing it about every day instead of every week when it's live. But some of them have been rather entertaining, like Headshot Only mode, or Tanks Only, or Call of Duty mode. All very
Soldier
very-
76s.
But yeah, all great additions to Overwatch so far. And I finally got Punk Tracer. Made me so happy.
Do you
For
think there's
now.
anything more, Tarley, that they're going to add to the game?
That's what I keep
Before-
asking. That's what I keep asking. Like the last time they released that Ilios map for the Control, and I'm like, okay, there's no way they're going to be adding any more maps. And then just Route 66 appeared. So a wild Route 66. So they still have another almost 2 months. Well, about another month before the beta is officially over. So there could be so much more added in that amount of time. So
Do you
who
think
knows?
they'll add a map after beta?
I don't
Like,
think so. I don't think there'll be ones added in May.
Okay.
Unless there's one specifically added for the open beta weekend.
That would be kind of a neat idea.
Yeah.
But
That would-
all I can say for certain is there's not going to be a new hero added between now and the time the game launches. There was an
Are
April
you
Fool's about a
certain?
hero, but I am certain about that, yeah.
I have to be with Icarus on this one. You never know that the 4th video might not be an established hero.
They already said that they weren't going to. That their lineup right now is their launch lineup, so I just don't see them going back on that.
But
I
it's
still think
Blizzard.
Marine Murloc can make it into the game.
I just want Icarus had the best idea for a skin, and and I want it in the game before it comes out. It is Torbjorn as a lawn gnome, and he is also a DJ for some reason. But it just has to happen.
So what would the turret be?
Probably a
Turntable.
turntable
Hose pipe or something?
and he shoots records.
That would be pretty cool.
Right. For some
I
reason,
feel
he's a
like
garden gnome, but it has to happen.
They should really add Doomfist in, just because of the cinematic trailer. I bet they
I'm
could
sure he'll
sneak him
be
in
in.
before it's released.
I just hope he goes around punching people. Like Reinhardt without the hammer.
There's about 160 skins, aren't there, at the moment? Or
Something like that. And they still haven't released them all yet. Not everybody has their legendary skins yet. Genji, come on. Gotta see it.
Hidden Leaf Genji. Come on, Blizz.
Didn't leave. Instead, he just chucks cups of green tea at you.
I don't think you got the reference, Per Tarley.
Charlie.
Halfway saved it.
More news. So much news in the last 2 weeks. Nova covert ops missions have finally launched. Have any of us given them a try?
I've been without PC until just recently, so no.
All right, moving on. No. Apparently, so the first set of 3 missions came out, and apparently they're quite good if you like to play Terran. They kind of add some interesting mechanics as the campaigns do. So I guess it is definitely worth it if you enjoy playing Terran, you enjoy StarCraft's single player. It's definitely worth picking up from what I hear.
I've heard...
It's not the StarCraft Ghost that everybody wanted, though.
Apparently, though, a lot of the cinematics in the first mission pack they're very similar to some of the dev footage that came out when Ghost was the thing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they've kind of done a token nod to Ghost throughout it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But apparently, I've heard some sort of criticism, and I'll link a Blizzard Watch article that I was reading on it.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems is that they tried to make it more open to a sort of not a non-StarCraft audience, but like a new StarCraft audience.
Mm-hmm.
So bear in mind this is happening after Brood Wars, after the original StarCraft Brood Wars expansion. That is, it's kind of explaining a lot and kind of keeping things very casual. So I think people were expecting a little bit more in depth and something a little bit, I guess, darker.
Well, we do still have 2 more sets of mission packs to come out, so still don't know the full extent of what that's going to be yet. Let's see. Now it's time for Big Voodoo to take the reins and talk a little bit more about Hearthstone in depth. We have Hearthstone N'Zoth, the Corruptor card, and appearance revealed, and it just looks awesome. So Big Voodoo.
So N'Zoth, he definitely looks really cool. I'm very excited for him. I think Death Rattle Rogue is going to become much more viable because of him. It's already pretty good, but it's going to be even better.
What does he do? What does N'Zoth do?
When you summon... Oh, no, so yeah, when you summon him, you summon all the Death Rattle minions that died in the game.
Yeah. The only catch with this is when he summons them, they come out as silenced minions, so their death rattle's not going to reoccur, which is kind of a bummer. But they're trying to slow down the game, so it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't be quite as overpowered as well.
Since they're slowing down the game, the whole deck I've been playing with is just basically going to be useless come this expansion, but oh well.
That's most of the ones I've been using, so don't feel bad.
I'm gonna put this up on screen. Just the idea of N'Zoth, because from just the Warcraft standpoint, we've really never seen him before, and this drawing, it's very menacing, and it would be really cool to see this villain in the game. Am I right?
Kind of looks like Cthulhu.
Yeah.
The one that I'm actually really excited for now is Yisharj. However you pronounce it.
Yisarj.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that. at the end of your turn, put a minion from your deck onto the or into the battlefield. That's like guaranteed value all the time.
You're guaranteed value all the time.
He must cost a lot or have low health or something. There's usually a catch with those cards.
He's a 10/10 for 10 mana. Like
Whoa.
straight.
Oh.
Just like he's going to be valuable. He's going to be a good card to have.
Yeah.
He's just an in-game card. I was thinking about how you can use the guy you're just talking about to your advantage. You could get like Dr. Boom and a couple other of those like really
Boom's
powerful
not
death
be
rattle.
in standard though.
Yeah.
I was just giving as a reference because I don't play
Yeah.
Hearthstone a lot. It's one of those legendaries that have a death rattle on it. Like you could just
There's
bring back.
definitely like a lot of cool stuff that you're going to be able to do with it, honestly, but it doesn't feel like as much of a win condition as both Cthulhu and Yasharj have been.
Yasarj?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess
I forgot how English.
So to flip the question, then, do you think any of the old gods are kind of automatically disqualified from the new meta? You think that just because if N'Zoth, say, isn't going to be as favourable, your Sarge is going to get, like you say, give value every turn. I mean, it isn't. I can't even pronounce them. Is N'Zoth just simply not going to be used in the game? Do you think, or any of the old gods? Do you think going to be sort of neglected more for this expansion?
If any of them are, obviously we don't know what the last
Other
one
gods.
is yet. But N'Zoth so far seems like it would require the most specialized deck. I'm not gonna say that there's not going to be a N'Zoth deck in meta because we don't know all the cards that are going to be out yet, and there's definitely some really cool Death Rattle cards that have been coming out, so it could happen. But I definitely lean towards the other two. Like Cthulhu is gonna have a meta deck, pretty much guaranteed. There's some really cool cards with some really cool interactions with him, and a 10/10 for 10 mana that guarantees value on every turn. There's no point not running it.
It doesn't seem like any of the old gods are really going to be devalued. It seems like they are just making it so they are each going to be for specific types of play. Really.
Yeah.
And I don't even.
But I
want to
know which one's best.
Cthulhu, just because you could buff him doesn't matter if he's dead or in your deck.
Armor Warrior Cthulhu is like, I'm pretty dang sure it's going to be in the meta because Armor Warrior's losing almost no cards with the change to standard format, and then Cthulhu has a really cool armor card that like plays right into it. Plus, it's a control deck already, so you're going to be lasting till turn 10. So
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else on Hearthstone before we jump into our discussion?
come at me, bro.
All right. Well, with that being said, it is time for the discussion of the week.
And then he swooped down from above. I tell ya, you should have seen the size of those wings. I swear, Borondax could hardly cut through a gnome. What's a Drenna anyhow? Can I drink it?
Discussion of the week.
That's right. It's time for discussion of the week. And hello to you, Bladed Knuckles, in the chat room. Just saw your message. We actually talked extensively about VR on last episode, so you can definitely check that out on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Okay, so this week's discussion is probably going to feel old by now because it's been all over the internet, but we're talking about it anyway because I am passionate for Tracer's booty. That's what we are talking about this week.
Well put.
So if you are unaware of what has happened in the last week, there was a particular victory pose for Tracer that showed her standing in a position that kind of accentuated that booty. of her looking over the shoulder. It was a typical over-the-shoulder pose that they have for quite a few heroes in the game. Now, there was a post on the Overwatch forum saying female characters in Overwatch and that one Tracer pose. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knew which pose they were talking about because it kind of felt out of place for Tracer, but Blizzard has since removed that post because a certain group of people have disagreed with it. And that is the point we're discussing today. Britzza actually phrased it really well here. Have Blizzard succeeded in creating a diverse, well-represented range of characters with Overwatch? And is removing this post really acceptable? Is it alright? Should we be angry? Should we not be angry? Let's talk.
Let us internet.
I, for one, am angry. I have made quite a few forum posts since, which quite a few of them have been
You're
removed.
that person Jeff Kaplan keeps talking about.
Exactly. It seems to me that Blizzard has pandered to one specific group of people's complaint, and if they were to do that with everybody, Widowmaker wouldn't even exist in the game. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Tracer's over-the-shoulder pose should be removed, so should Hanzo's. Let's be real.
He does have a nice butt.
The argument against it was that Tracer is not the kind of character who would accentuate her own booty in such a pose. Therefore, it didn't make sense for her. And to be fair, when I first read the title of that forum post, I knew exactly which pose they were talking about. I think a lot of people did, because it was out of place. But, I mean, what do you guys think? I feel like I'm going to continue to rant about this unless somebody cuts me off.
Before we begin, we've got, I think one of the articles in the show notes has the image, if you wanted to show that, Tarley.
Yes, I will have it up for the rest of the conversation.
Okay, unless Blizzard shuts us down for showing it. I'll let the other two go first.
I'm kind of neutral about it. Like, I understand why they're saying what they're saying. I mean, she is more spunky than sexy, but the pose itself isn't really sexy, because if you look at it, she's just standing up, her butt showing backwards. Maybe if her upper body was bent more forward and her butt was protruding more, then it would be more reasonable, right? Like a twerk position.
Right.
But as is, it's not bad. It's just... what this is saying is that you can never show a female character from the backside. That's what I get from this argument.
What about you, Big Voodoo? What's your take on the whole argument?
I think it's just dumb. Like, okay, from Blizzard's standpoint, you already had it in there. You already did the art for this one pose. Why remove it? It's not a big deal because it's not breaking some character law or something. No. But if I was Blizzard making poses, I probably wouldn't have jumped to that one for Tracer. Like, I get the idea of, keeping a character with a personality and, trying to sell you on the personality of this character, because that's what makes games good. But it's not a big deal. Like, screw the internet for caring too much about something entirely unimportant again, because I feel like this happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. And Britzza, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because it's not fair that we all agree. I think the real problem is, and sort of, I don't disagree with them removing it. I agree with Jeff Kaplan that they have a right as creators to make the game they want. But the problem here is, and the forum post itself that kind of triggered this, completely understand where the right was coming from. They said that there is a really diverse range of characters, which is something else we could get into regarding all the characters. But their view was that their young daughter, who really sort of likes Tracer and really relates to Tracer, it was their view that this sort of pose kind of set the wrong tone for something that his daughter was trying to relate to. And other people have come back from different angles and supported it, and other people have said, I think the strongest argument against it has been, well, if your daughter's too young to be exposed to that, then maybe she's too young to play the game and shouldn't be playing with it. But that's again, a whole other dilemma on, censorship probably. I think the problem is, though, is people saying there is a huge argument that Tracer's not a sexual character, and I get that. She's not supposed to be. Blizzard never wanted to make her a sexualized character in the same way Widowmaker is. They, like you guys have said, really tried to make her a spunky, British, young, happy-go-lucky character who's always optimistic, and you can see that in everything she does.
I play her that way. I wave to everybody before I kill them.
But then, but then they stuck her in skin-tight spandex, and you have to sit there and think, okay, you've kind of walked into this one yourself. You have completely accentuated the entire physique, the lower physique of this entire character. So you have kind of walked into it, and she's not the only one. I mean, is it DVA? Who's the other character?
Diva.
Yeah. She's, I kind of see her as almost like a bit of a Tracer doppelganger, because she's exactly the same.
Once she's out of the suit, she's in skin-tight spandex.
Tight spandex, and you sit there and think, okay, well, you're obviously sticking all your characters in.
And they literally really have a French-made skin for Widowmaker.
See, and this is my problem with Blizzard, is they are sexualizing some characters, and I agree that there was a great video. I can't remember the guy who plays Francis, but you know who Francis on the internet, the big angry one.
Boogie.
Yeah, that's it. He did a great video recently on how you should be free to have sexual characters and non-sexual characters, but I don't think Blizzard has the right to call how their audience are interpreting it anymore, and that's kind of where this is sort of really gone nuts.
Yeah, that's where the whole argument is if one group of people disagrees with something, and that's enough to just have Blizzard remove it entirely. I mean, where does it end at that point? If I complained that I thought Reaper's mask was offensive, to me personally, should we just not have him wear a mask at all? That one post
doesn't care about you.
That one post says something about take away McCree's cigar because they don't want her daughter smoking or something like that.
Yeah.
Which would be a fair comparison as an argument. That is a good point to make.
That is a really good point.
But it fits with the character. That's who McCree is.
The real question isn't public school still worse than all of this?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know about the UK, but in America, yes.
Well, we've got our own problems, I guess. But
sorry,
now there's to throw it the other way. There's now a petition calling for it to be put back in the game. Do you think if Blizzard reversed the decision, that would be worse, or not?
Yeah, I think yes, that would be
worse.
bad on Blizzard.
I agree. You've got to keep it out.
But I think they should stop there. I mean, I don't think Blizzard should pander to just one view. I think they should have listened to the entire community before discussing that, or before just eliminating it right there, because obviously there's been a huge outcry. I mean, Jeff Kaplan himself said, wow, that escalated quickly within a couple hours of that going through. So I think Blizzard needs to tread more carefully before making decisions like that again.
I guess touching on the rest of the characters, do you think that...
I think Winston, Total Biscuit said, I mean, they have quite a diverse cast of animal characters in the game with Winston and Winston and Winston and Winston, but the one pose for him makes him seem too much like an animal. Come on, Blizzard. I want that pose removed.
Fair way to put it. But I think they've really... They kind of dug themselves into a really difficult challenge because they've constantly talked about how diverse their characters are, and they've had struggles. I mean, who's the really buff girl character?
Zyra,
and then they create this really interesting character, and even when I saw the video, I was like, oh wow, actually, okay, that's a bit different. And then they made her like stereotypical butch Russian, and I was like, okay, just drag that out of Rocky and switch the genders. So I think they're never going to really win. I think because
No.
there's always because they've basically said, look how diverse and acceptable our host of characters are, and there's always going to be a group of people who points at any one of those characters and goes, that's not how I would see them.
Right.
Um,
Blizzard can
and
never.
that's the problem.
Blizzard can never make everybody happy, and you'd think with the years of World of Warcraft they would have realized that by now. But,
Well, they've always had that problem, haven't they? They what was it, a couple of years ago? They said that they'd got World of Warcraft women wrong, and in a sense they got men wrong because all the men are completely buff and athletic, and all the women are like size 2 waists. And they said we're going to fix that. So they kind of there's a theme sometimes with Blizzard and women. They don't always get them 100% right, but I think they've done the right thing in the end, and that hopefully this can all sort of blow away and we can actually play the game.
And that is the thing with the internet, is things blow up for a minute and then we all forget about it because something worse happens 10 minutes later. So as long as they don't make Widowmaker just completely naked, I think everyone will be satisfied from here on out.
Well, we'll find out, won't we, in a couple of hours?
We right, Widowmaker and her video. I mean, it's definitely been an interesting discussion. I feel more level-headed about it after discussing it actually with a group of 4 people.
You're probably
for the last week I was just Blizzard, ruin my Tracer, but I never used that pose anyway.
Say you had written a character. If you'd written a character and you'd gone to great lengths to make them seem a particular way, and then everyone said, yeah, you made a really interesting, you thought about the character and the personality and all the different elements of her personality, and everyone went, oh wow, she's got a fantastic backside. Like, okay, that wasn't what I was hoping for.
Right.
I think that's where Blizzard is at.
I'm pretty sure that was their only goal with Widowmaker, though.
They were like, you, sir, you're the expert on backside. You're going to work on Widowmaker. The rest of you, into the room, we'll discuss Tracer.
So, yeah, I mean, I do, there is a valid point for getting rid of it. Like, I won't even disagree with it, but, yeah, I just believe the whole discussion was whether or not they should have removed it. But they did, and nothing can be done about it now.
It's, as long as they don't put it back,
Right.
they should be fine.
Right.
Because then they're just weak and wishy-washy.
Right. Right.
But
I would just hate to see it become a trend for a group of people to disagree with something and therefore Blizzard will pander to them. Like, let's just, Blizzard, learn from this. Obviously, your community will rise up when something like this happens and be very angry for, a few hours. So, hopefully Blizzard will learn from this and not continue to do so. But who knows, maybe they'll just put jeans on Tracer eventually.
Jogging bottoms or something like that, or just slacks.
Yeah, sweatpants. Just
She just gets sweatpants and a hoodie.
That would be a quite tongue-in-cheek skin for Blizzard to release.
Yeah, that would be good to see Blizzard actually play off of this whole situation. Make light of it.
Because people can
I
say
wouldn't
if you're
mind
not happy
that
with it.
And if they do the sweatpants and hoodie, she needs a cigarette in her mouth as well. Just
Giving up Tracer.
giving up Tracer, your white trash Tracer. Yeah. So we've gone a bit controversial on this show. I think just a little.
We're always controversial on this show. Trendsetters.
no, we normally just confirm things before
Yeah,
they're
normally we
announced.
confirm
True.
things. Yeah. So Trailer Trash Tracers coming out this month, predicting it. So anything else, any more on the Tracer debacle? Before I guess that would be wrapping up the show after this.
I'm out of ideas. I've forgotten how to word.
You look like you have something to say, Big Voodoo.
I got nothing, man.
You look like you have something to say, Icarus. I
Not
can't
really.
see you, but I know I can just tell.
You look like
I'm
you've got
just
something to say, Tarley.
Cheers, love.
The cavalry's here?
I don't think that accent's ever going to quite sit right with me.
I don't think it'll sit right with any British people.
No.
But it sits right with Americans who thinks that's what British people sound like.
It's fair enough. Has Widowmaker actually spoken ever? That's something that's been in the back of my mind for the last 30 minutes.
She's French.
She's what? She's French.
Bonjour.
Oh, it's going to be carnage in King's Row then. English girl and a French woman. Oh no, it's not going to go down.
It's going to be fantastic. All right. Well, if that about wraps it up for us. Unless anybody has any shout-outs they'd like to give for the show. Hi, Mom.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, you can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and Twitch. You can find us on Twitter at Geeks of Azeroth. You can find me personally at Tarley_pause. And we do have Zool. He still exists. He still tweets. Find him at ZoolGeek. Britzza, where can we find you?
You can find me at Britzza_EG.
Big Voodoo, let's hear that lead speak.
At B1GV00D00.
And Icarus isn't cool enough to have a Twitter account.
Yep.
He's not a sellout.
All right.
I still have my soul intact.
You can always contact the show with your messages, questions, shout-outs, hate mail, fan mail. If you've got pictures of Tracer's booty, send them all to geeksofazerotheg@gmail.com. And remember to check out www.epicgeeks.co.uk for all the content we produce. Otherwise, we'll be here same time, same place next week. Everyone have a great week in Blizzard Gaming. Yar!
Yar. We love the booty.